In 1587, over 100 English settlers arrived on a remote American island to build a new life. 3 years later, they were all gone, with no trace left but a single word. They came with timber, tools, and hope, carving out a fragile settlement on Roanoke Island. John White led the expedition, sketching maps and faces, trying to anchor England on the edge of the New World. In letters and sketches, White left a record of a community trying to take root in a hostile coast of wind and salt. When supplies ran low, White made the sea voyage back to England to fetch aid. But war in Europe detained him, and return was delayed longer than anyone had planned. When John White finally returned 3 years later, the settlement was silent. No battle marks, no graves, no hurried fires, only silence and scattered possessions. A wooden post stood where a distress cross might have been, but there was none. Then White saw the carved word that would haunt history, Croton. Some letters were found carved into a palisade post, just 0, leaving more questions than answers. White made plans to search the nearby Croton Island, but storms and refusals of help kept him from full investigation. In later years, quick flashes of drawings and maps hinted at daily life and uneasy contact with native peoples. Native Croatan symbols and material culture appear in some archaeological layers, suggesting contact and exchange. Some artifacts tied to English manufacture turn up along nearby coasts and island sites, tantalizing but not conclusive. Stories of sightings, stray graves, and later stones like the disputed Dare stones add pieces that rarely fit together cleanly. Some historians point to assimilation with local tribes as the likeliest path, emerging that leaves faint traces in oral history. Others argue for migration, hardship, or violence, possibilities that the barren fort cannot answer alone. In the 2020s, archaeologists returned with new tools, careful digs, DNA sampling, and interdisciplinary teams. Laboratory benches hold fragments of bone, pottery, and hope, each test narrowing some theories while opening others. DNA projects have probed for English lineage in descendant communities, but results remain inconclusive. Excavations on Croton-linked sites reveal English-style artifacts clustered among native materials, a complex signature of contact. Yet no definitive burial ground or village has produced the smoking gun evidence many hoped would end the debate. The evidence is tantalizing, fragmented, and stubbornly ambiguous, an archaeological Rorschach test. Across centuries, the carved letters remain the colony's simplest and starkest message. Theories stack like weathered timbers, assimilation with Croatan groups, migration north, starvation, or a violent end. Each idea explains parts of the puzzle, but none yet explains everything. Archaeology and genetics have narrowed some paths and closed others, but the story resists a tidy ending. The island's fog keeps secrets, and the carved word keeps its silence, inviting speculation across generations. The lost colony of Roanoke vanished into history. 439 years later, we still don't know where they went. The case remains unsolved in 2026. Explore the theories, weigh the evidence, and ask your own questions.